Right then, we got top four secured. Yay. And actually, what an easy game it was. And if that doesn't highlight just how unfathomably shit Frank Lampard is as a manager, I don't know what does. That was not a vintage United performance, but honestly, the last 20 minutes, United might have put another 3 or 4 goals past them, and I don't think anyone would have been like, wow, that was a little bit much, wasn't it? No, they'd have gone, yeah, United deserved that because they made the chances to do it. The team gave up. Chelsea absolutely gave up, capitulated, and just left it to United to just do whatever we wanted to their sleeping corpse in a car park. That's what it felt like, at least, anyway. There's a few people who was tweeting me during the game. There's a few West Ham fans tweeting me during the game as well. And they're not so pleased with the Declan Rice opinion, which I entirely stand by. And actually, in fact, a lot of them are trying to tell me that he's actually better than Casemiro, hilariously. But we're not talking about that tonight. We'll talk about that another day. And we probably will talk about that another day. But yeah, people were sort of saying, like, how poorly drilled are Chelsea off the ball? Like, yeah, that's the whole thing. When I look at Everton, when I look at Chelsea, I go, this isn't like, oh, no, they're playing bad. They look like they've not even touched it. Like, they've not even gone. And where's the level of professionalism from the players? Be like, are we not going to work? Shape? Nothing. Fucking hell. The way they gave up in the last 15 minutes of that game does not bode well for a team that's been so expensively assembled. I just did a quick adding up there. So I think that was his 10th game in charge. He's won 1, drawn 1, lost 8. Now, in terms of where does that leave you over the course of a league season? Well, if 10 games, obviously multiplied by 4, you get 40. Let's knock a game off. Let's give them a draw. You know, you're looking at I mean, even if you said, fuck it, 15 points. 15 points instead of 16 if you had 40. So 15 points. Where does that leave you? It leaves you like the second worst points tally ever. You go, that's not bad. Someone did worse. Yeah, the 2008 Derby side did worse. 11, I think they had. But this is a 2008 Derby side that, off the top of my head, I can't remember a single player in there, but I do remember that there was essentially a championship side, maybe a League One side on a couple of positions. Not a £2 billion Chelsea squad that's been assembled at the behest of a mad billionaire with a club legend at the helm that everyone was sort of telling me was a good manager 5 minutes ago. It's actually impressive how bad Frank Lampard has made them. Actually, genuinely impressive how shit he's managed to be as a manager. I don't think it's possible. Now, I was sort of half joking when I said I think I'm a better manager than Frank Lampard. I'm now actually fucking certain I'm a better manager than Frank Lampard because I at least would teach my fucking team about having a high line and having some sort of defensive structure. They're fucking dreadful. Someone also mentioned to me, I've never seen Fofana have a good game. And do you know what? I had nothing to come back with him. Like, well, there was... It's mental how you can look at that roster of players and pick a side that's not any good whatsoever. I genuinely thought coming into this game, United was going to get a draw out of this. There's no way Chelsea are that bad. No way. Can't be. Can't possibly be that bad. They might be worse. They might be worse than I thought, and I didn't think they were very good in the slightest. For us, obviously, nice to see Marcus back and getting amongst the goals, whatever it is that he's had. I hope United fucking lose now against Fulham by just giving everyone a start. Hey, have you had a start today? Jack Butland, come and get your Manchester United debut. Do you want to play a game? Harry Maguire, you can come and have a game. Hopefully it's still your last one in the United shirt. Do you want a game? Man on the row 8 of the Stretford end, do you want a game? Come and have a fucking game on Sunday. That's what United should be doing now, is just giving every fucker a game. Everybody else that's important, Eriksen, Bruno, Rashford, Casemiro, Varane, you lot all go and lie down, have a spa weekend, get your fucking nails did, and relax, and let's focus on trying to have a good old time in the FA Cup final and try and win the FA Cup. That's what United need to be focusing on now. Who gives a fuck whether we beat Fulham or not? Now, considering that Ten Hag has done nothing of the sort for the entire season, I don't think he's going to do that. I think it's much more likely that he'll play pretty much his best side, if not his actual best side, and try and go for it to make sure we finish in third place. Wouldn't be surprised. That's all. And if that's what he does, that's what he does. That's what he's going to do. But personally, I would just go, this is my starting 11 that I think is going to play against Manchester City at Wembley. Everybody else, see you on Monday. Have the weekend off. That's what I think I would be doing. But yeah, I mean, if we can touch on this Casemiro declaration. How is that even a topic? Again, this is because this is another London-based player that people have wanked into oblivion. And so many of the people was like, oh, well, who's better then? How long have you got? Genuinely. Let alone players at top clubs. Rodri, Casemiro. You know, you've got players at some of the smaller clubs as well. Casado, Thomas Partey. These are better than him. Ruben Neves, better than him. You know, there's a slight variation in terms of how they play the position in across all of these, but these are better footballers than him. I'm seeing some absolute fucking wibble coming out. I might even say Højbjerg is about the same level as Declan Rice. Casemiro tonight out here just showing and reminding everyone, look, he had a bit of a wobble in the middle of the season, probably run into the ground a little bit. But, you know, top four done. So out of the objectives that had to be reached for Erik Ten Hag this season, top four's done. We are in the Champions League, no matter what happens now. Positive campaign. We won a trophy. We have accomplished top four, despite making a bit of a run of it for the last month or so. I think it needs to be built on, and I think that obviously relies on who's going to own us over the next month or so, or however long it takes to complete this takeover, if there is actually a takeover. That's going to become extremely important into Manchester United's future. But I think Ten Hag's done a good job, and there's no qualification on that. I can just say a good job. I'm not going to say amazing, oh my God, and I certainly wouldn't say it was a shit job. I think it's a good job. I think there's been things that he needs to work on. Like I said, I wouldn't say it was perfect or amazing. The home form is something that's a worry. And I think the manner in which he approached all of the competitions is interesting. And I wonder if you could have an honest conversation with him, if he would do that again. And if you could say to him, do you think we maybe should have prioritised some of the competitions? Now, if we don't win the FA Cup and the League Cup is the only one he wins, how can he sit there in front of you and say, no, yeah, I should have tossed the League Cup off? If you win the FA Cup, he might have a little bit more leeway to say, yeah, we probably could have rotated more in the League Cup, perhaps, or even in Europa. You know, I wonder if you said, are you going to have the same? And again, there's asking the question and there's getting the correct answer and an honest answer. And, you know, I don't know Ten Hag. I've never met him. So it's not a conversation I'm anticipating having. But I would like to sort of, you know, hypotheticalize this a little bit and just be like, I wonder if, I do know how to get hold of Steve McLaren. It might be something you could ask Steve McLaren. Would you do this again? What mistakes do you think you made this season? I think that would be a really sort of interesting exercise. What mistakes do we think Ten Hag made this season, and what can he learn from for next season? Because I have tried to look at our performances in away games, and obviously we can only extrapolate from the result. We don't know what the instruction was and whether the instruction was adhered to. And a lot of people just fill in the gaps with that, but you don't know what the instruction was. You just look at what was done well or not done well and then try and extrapolate from that. And that's not always going to be the necessary case. Certainly you're not going to go in there and tell players to make individual mistakes. That doesn't happen. We probably didn't say, let's concede 7 against Liverpool. I'm almost certain we didn't say that. And I don't think the instructions were necessarily too different from that for some of the big games that we've gone and performed well. I don't think we would have had massively different sort of mentality going into that game than we did Barcelona away, for example, yet the performances couldn't have been more different. So I would love to get an honest answer and find out, what do you genuinely think you would do different now? What do you think you've got the ability to improve on, and what do you think you might have to, put down to a little bit of lady luck maybe? I think it'd be a really interesting conversation to be had there with the coaching staff if you could get the honest sort of conversation. So anyway, that's what I think. You guys let me know. What were the mistakes, do you reckon, this season? And I mean actual mistake. Losing to Liverpool, was that a mistake or was that a performance? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think the decision was, let's lose to Liverpool. So, what mistakes do you think were made? Let me know in the comments. See you in the next one.